We're talking jealousy. I mean green, ugly jealousy. It's your man, KaaosJ, DMC, let's go.
I like this song. Did you know it's in the All in the Fields playlist on Spotify?
No.
Doesn't it get you all in the fields though?
All in the fields like what? Body rolling and I'm shaking my butt. Say word. What's going on, everybody? Dating, mating, communicating, DMC. I'm here sitting in the lead host chair for Jimmy V, who could not be with us, but it's your man KaaosJ. You know where to find me on Twitter, Instagram, Chaos_Oceans3131. Flavors of waviness. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I got my lovely co-host to my left. Let's go.
Yeah.
Tell them who you are so they know.
You've got two girls on deck today.
I do. I got the ladies.
Yeah, girls. Hey everyone, this is Constance Dunn. You can always find me at Constance Dunn, Instagram, Twitter. What's going on, everybody? It's Olivia Gabri. I'm back in the hosting seat with you guys. I'm excited to be here. You can hit me up at @thereal_O_G.
All right, everybody. So we're talking jealousy and how to deal with jealousy. And jealousy is a major issue, especially this day and age with social media. Like,
You think?
I feel like somebody's getting jealous like every 0.2 seconds on Instagram based on whose photos you liking. Why you liking her photos?
Well, God, isn't
You know
the
her.
feeling? But isn't the feeling, whether it's social media or before social media,
I
isn't
mean,
it a
it can,
horrible
right.
feeling?
I mean, it's a bad feeling.
Yeah,
I just feel like it's even more exacerbated
yeah.
now with social media.
And
so
yeah.
if you were on level 5 with your jealousy, oh, you on level 20 now.
right? I know there's more reasons to be jealous, right?
But are there? Let's get into it. I mean, are there really? Like, I mean, I know especially, and we talked about this the last time you were here, and I said how women suck all the fun out of social media.
Oh.
I still stand
he
by
said
that. But, and you even talked about how, you know, if you were, you know, when you're dating somebody, you're like, wait, why are you liking her photos?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? And there's a little bit of jealousy behind that, but at the end of the day, should you really be jealous? Like, when you take a step back and you look like, okay, they like the photos. If you figure out the motivation and the meaning behind liking the photos, I feel like, obviously, when you're jealous, logic kind of goes out the window. But if you were to look at it from a logical standpoint, it's like, is there really...
It's embedded, though. That's the thing. From an evolutionary perspective, David Buss, who I talk about a lot on this show, has done a lot of work in jealousy. I think he did even an entire book. And here's the thing. We are hardwired to a large extent to feel jealousy, and men and women feel jealousy differently. When women feel jealousy, it is because there is a threat. And well, it's on both sides. It's a threat. It's a threat either way. But the threat is that you would divert resources, time, and energy to another woman, which would take resources away from us. This is the evolutionary perspective. Likewise, that's why women, when they test on scenarios, they present different scenarios. Imagine your man having a deep emotional attachment with another woman. Women's like pulse, their skin sensitivity goes through the roof. When they ask, imagine your guy having hot, steamy sex one night with a chick, it's bad, but it's not nearly as bad as the emotional component. Flip that for men. Men get steaming like a demon at the thought of their lady hooking up with a dude. Likewise, the emotional thing, yeah, I have an emotional relationship with another dude. Okay, I don't like it, but it's the sex, and here's why. Evolutionarily, it's because you were going to do 18 years of parental investment. You best make sure that that baby is yours. You don't, so again, evolutionarily, women that, it was virtue was definitely more valued because you wanted to make sure that the lady that you were connecting with and having a child with, it was your child and not somebody else. So it's evolutionary. It doesn't mean that you can't override it with logic and modernity, but it is embedded in our DNA as human beings.
And evolution, like, that was just dropping some knowledge.
I mean, that's done 101 though.
I like now applying that to like your everyday life, I 100% understand that. And speaking on logic, I feel like because we are so accessible through social media and constantly having a phone and a contact with another person, I just think logic's out the window. You can you could pretend that you're logical, and you could pretend that social media and all that jazz doesn't get you jealous, but I think that you're lying.
Right. And think about logic when someone says, oh, you should go out with that person because he's a nice guy, he's got a good family. You're like, yeah. And you pick the other one. You can't reason somebody into like, you should like him. It's like,
well, you can't, you are who you are. At the end of the day, you can't help how you feel.
Right.
And again, just because we are so accessible to each other now, it's like, you know, like 10 years ago, 5 years ago even, if you like someone, like you like them in their head, you were checking them out in your head, but now it's documented that you like them and like the way they
it's
look.
manifested itself through likes, hearts, emojis,
and
thumbs
even
up.
though maybe that's not the intent, it definitely is misinterpreted because that's a whole like stigma attached to a goddamn heart on someone's face.
Well, and that sucks because maybe Instagram, for example, needs to come out with a few more things that you can click on, like cool. I mean, but then again, I'm sure that will turn into a problem. Like, really? So you think all her last 10 posts were cool?
Yeah.
What was so cool about it?
And it's like,
I mean, she doesn't have on any clothes barely, so what's cool about that?
Yeah, and then it
you
opens
don't like
up
my
to be
pictures
like,
when I go swimming.
Yeah, it's like you only
you
thought
don't look
my
like
photo.
that when you go swimming.
Right, and it's like you only thought my photo was cool. I didn't get a love. I didn't get a like, you know.
Right.
If it's not one thing, it's another thing.
Yeah, I honestly feel like you're not gonna win in this situation, at least from a man's perspective.
Right.
Because see, again, like I said on that other episode, and this is just me, and I'm sure there are some guys, you know, obviously we know there are guys out there that are more insecure than others, more jealous than others.
Right.
But for me, personally, I'm not even checking to see who you're liking.
Yeah.
And I guess that also goes hand in hand with if I'm given a reason to, although even if I were given a reason to, I'm still not really checking what you're liking unless it's blatantly obvious. You know, like if it's blatantly obvious that you're just liking, you know, Corey's pictures, you're liking like 15, 20 of this dude's pictures, and you're commenting and you're leaving emojis and stuff like that, then I might be like, okay, what's really good? But other than that, when it comes to social media, I don't know. I feel like for me personally, it's going to take a lot for me to really get jealous. Yeah, for me personally, it's just the simple stuff, the likes and all that kind of simple stuff. I'm not looking too into that until you start actually saying a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
You know, then it's like, okay, what's really good?
And I think it's all situational as well. First of all, it's a personal thing. You know, it's the type of person you are will determine how you interpret those things and how you act.
Right.
However, you know, again, if I was a little sus about a situation or like my man, or I felt like something wasn't exactly right, I would probably go digging.
Yeah.
And when you go digging, you'll always find something.
You'll find something, but then here's again,
God, that
it's
feeling.
guy talk. Kels in the building. Let's go. I feel like, you know, and I've heard it before. It's like, you know, if you go looking for something, you're going to find something.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what you find, because there's a lot of situations where I feel like you don't really find something, but to you it's everything.
Well, right, because that's what you're checking for.
Exactly.
But, you know, I have a friend. I'm not going to name any names, but I think
will.
this is a pure example, because this is going to sound crazy to you, but this is not the first friend that I've had that has gone through these extensive measures to find something that she wanted to find. So she suspected her, you know, he's been going out a lot, like, oh, I'm going to bed early, or like, you know, and she's been having problems with this situation because she doesn't really like him going out all that much. So because she gets jealous that, like, okay, you're going to the club around all these other chicks and I'm in bed early because I have work in the morning. How is that fair?
So they're in a committed relationship.
Yeah. Oh,
20
committed.
something?
Yeah. 20 something,
Okay.
like 2 years now.
Wow. Okay.
And so she went on his friend's profile, looked at the latest follows on his friend's profile, found this girl that led her to this other girl who posted a picture, and her boyfriend was in the corner of the picture, and her boyfriend just started following her as well. And so now, like, it's like, okay, did you really find something? I'm not sure.
Just because he was in the corner and he followed
In the
her,
corner.
it could have just been
Right.
He just like,
But then
oh
it's
hey,
like-
you on Instagram? Because I see people swap Instagrams like they're like swapping a piece of gum. Like, yo,
Right.
hey, can I get a piece of gum?
Right.
And just as easy as you're like, oh, can I have a piece of that gum?
Right.
Just as easy as that exchange happens, I see people just exchange Instagrams, and for me personally, I'm like, I don't know you like that to just be giving you my
Right.
Instagram. Obviously, I shout it out here, but I also have a personal one. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see that, but then, so then it's totally situational because it's like,
I mean,
okay.
wait, no, please. What happened?
Yeah.
I mean, she had to keep it quiet because, first of all, how are you going to go to your man and be like, I'm so jealous, I went digging through your sister's mother's cousin's boyfriend's girlfriends, and I
but
found
did
this.
she end up finding anything substantial
Oh,
from?
no, but now she's checking.
Now she's on.
watching.
She's on alert.
She's
this
watching. Now
is
that's
where-
The
red
radar
flag.
is on.
Right.
It's problems.
But this is where it sucks because it would suck to be in that situation because he's like a 20-something-year-old guy and he's not married, and there is like he's out in clubs. He's
Yeah.
kind of on the hunt, right? He's not just
But
going
is
there
he
to
on the
like.
hunt, though,
Right,
or
but
does he
it's
just
like
want to
whistle
dance? He just wants to go and
but
dance
you,
to the
but
music.
you see, you don't know.
He wants
but
to dance
You
to
would know.
Future.
I'll go dance. Do guys go to clubs to dance?
No.
We've talked about this.
I just want to hear my favorite Future songs and Drake and dance.
I can see if he goes
No,
like
I'm
plays
I'm
darts or
joking.
something, or
No,
plays
not
pool,
at all.
and he's really into like pool or bowling. But a guy at a club, I don't mean to be a jerk.
I feel like this.
but-
I'll say
know.
this: if you're going with your homies, I feel like there are occasions where guys will just want to get out and hang out with other guys and do guy shit, talk about guy shit without being scrutinized by their women or their friends' significant others,
Right.
and just hang out. They're not really on the hunt. They're not really trying to get numbers. They're not really trying to land something to take home or take to the parking lot. They legitimately just want to hang out. Now, is that the case every single time? No, it's not. But
Those are
there
bars
are-
versus clubs.
Yeah.
So you guys
Clubs,
aren't going to be
there's
like
no chatting
going
in
to
clubs.
Club Guido like with your bros. Like,
But
hey,
you're
what
just-
you're going more to the corner bar, right?
okay,
And
all
playing
right,
darts,
all right.
and
I
drinking
guess
beer.
I'll let you have that. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you can just want to go and observe and hang out.
Yes, you
Right.
do.
You can people watch at the club low key, and I mean, yeah, it's low key Creep Squad, but at the same time, like, you can go to the club with your homeboys and then go back home to your chick, or go home by yourself and then hit your chick up like, hey, you still up?
It's situational though, and that's where jealousy is kind of such a weird thing because, okay, you could naturally be a jealous person, but if you know your man is like kind of sus on the low, that
Exactly.
makes you extra jealous.
This is
And then
true.
you're checking for certain things that you're like, okay, he's acting pretty weird, and then I'm seeing this, so you're jumping to conclusions, and then those conclusions are making you even more jealous. And it's like, okay, I was in a weird relationship before, so those jealousy characteristics kind of like leech onto you, and you take them with you in your next
Horrible.
relationship, and then that could be a make or break situation. You could really be just kicking it with your homies, and because I have gained all these jealous qualities about me, I could interpret it the wrong way.
Okay, so
It's
then- then-
justified. Jealousy is off. It can be justified if your partner has an affair and has betrayed you.
Right.
It is absolutely
well, then
rational,
that's-
and you are
then
not
yeah.
being right.
So then at that point, I feel like you have, as a man, and having been in that situation and been the bad guy, and having done that
Yeah.
to create the jealousy and insecurity through my actions, I kind of feel like at that point it's like I can't say shit.
Right,
Like I just
right.
gotta just take whatever you throw my way and roll with it and try and do whatever I can to reduce and eliminate the jealousy and insecurity, which brings
Right.
us to the next thing is, how do you reduce and or eliminate jealousy.
Well, jealousy is a delusion. I'm going to Buddhism for this a little bit.
Delusional.
It is a delusion. It's
So when a
it's an
man says, "Girl,
attachment."
you being delusional right now,"
Well, here's the thing.
point to that.
Sometimes people, and usually women, can perceive jealousy as attention, whereas it's like, it feels like love. You know, attention feels like love to people who have not had either, right?
Okay.
If you've not had that and a guy seems jealousy, it's like, wow, he cares so much about me, and it's usually not the case. It usually has to do with them. Like the jealousy is all like.
No, that's true though, because
Right.
I have seen situations
good to girls
where
sometimes.
where the girl will do certain things to provoke that jealousy in her
Okay.
man, because then if he reacts the way she wants or anticipates, it's like, oh, he cares about me, girl.
Right, or even if
He
she's
was
not
about to hit him in the
provoking.
face. He loved me.
Even if it's not provoking, it could be a guy who has a problem with jealousy. He's a guy, a very jealous, controlling,
Yeah.
creepy guy. And at first it's like, wow, this kind of feels like good because I've
Yeah.
never had any attention. This feels like love. This guy is so into me. He wants to know everything. He wants to know where I am. Right, so that's him. And here's the thing. People that are going to feel jealousy and be jealous are typically, it's often rooted, and this is where we're talking about not the justified type where your guy cheated on you, right? We're talking about, it's usually related to parenting. Because basically there's something called an anxious attachment style. We've talked about this on the show before. But basically, if you have grown up feeling very securely loved, you are less likely to feel jealousy as an adult, because you have what they call a secure attachment style. So think of two attachment styles. When you get in a relationship, these are really broad. One is secure and one is anxious. People that are like never really feel completely loved, because they just don't feel that about themselves, they are going to be more likely to be jealous because you never feel really loved. It doesn't matter how much you do for me. I never really feel secure in my relationship. People that have secure attachment styles that felt very loved, you know what I mean, growing
Yeah.
up, and they just have that about them, they're less likely to feel that way. And if someone like those are the people that when someone breaks up with them, they get a little upset, but they don't go outer limits. They don't go Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, a lot of these are just really broad things. So secure and anxious attachment styles when you connect with people.
I hope y'all are taking notes, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dunn
It's
101 is dropping
fascinating
bars.
stuff.
Well, it is,
It
and
is.
imagine like
Can we get the live chat up,
a
please?
secure and an insecure
Yeah,
person
secure.
have this relationship. It's like it's deemed from the beginning.
Right, and often people will seek each
Doomed
other
from the
out.
beginning,
Like the
rather.
one who's anxious will seek out the secure. So
Yeah.
often, like you have this thing, and I'll just use guys. It happens with girls too. Guys go, "Oh, I want to like fix a broken woman."
Oh, okay.
Right. So like there's a woman who is very like has an anxious attachment style. She never feels love no matter what you do for her, no matter how monogamous and you don't even look at other women. It's never enough. That person will often seek out the guys that are very secure in themselves. Does that make sense? I always say, I wish the creepy people could hook up with the people who are really secure, because often people get so wounded by other types. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you get so wounded. Let's just say I went out with an idiot for a long time, right? Who was really like a jealous, creepy dude.
Yeah.
That could damage you so much for a long time.
Oh, it's not good. I
It
think
does.
it
Right,
truly
right. So,
it
like-
really affects the way you handle your next relationship. Cause you're used to, all the BS.
Right. And people, when they go, "Oh, women are like crazy psycho chicks."
No.
Right, you just
I
keep-
hate.
You just keep hooking
that.
up with those crazy psycho chicks, and then you know what I mean?
Okay, granted, there are some women that truly are freaking nuts.
Yeah.
But there are also, like, it's so situational because there could be a reason why I'm acting nuts. Like, you made me act nuts, but guys will never admit
Exactly.
that, like, okay, yeah, I'm crazy jealous, but maybe if you weren't being so sus and doing all this crazy, like, stuff, granted, I'm choosing to put myself in the situation where I'm putting up with it, so I'm
Right.
getting more and more jealous, and in the end of the day, like, it's a burden on my own.
Yeah.
But I'm acting crazy jealous because you gave me like a reason to be
Right, right.
suspect and crazy jealous.
Yeah, so it's justified in that case. And in that case, that could be somebody where you're seeking monogamy and the other person is not seeking monogamy.
Right.
That's a big one.
I can't see the handle.
Desi, our girl.
Oh my god, I need glasses.
Chronicles. Okay,
Yeah.
so
D Chronicles.
D Chronicles said, "I feel like jealousy tends to lead to an unhealthy relationship and an unsafe relationship.
Oh, 100%.
Which it definitely can,
absolutely.
especially when people that are a little bit more unstable than others,
Exactly.
it can get violent and abusive and things like that. But you're definitely right. I definitely understand what you're talking about because I have been there, and so have a few of my friends.
Right.
Where that I've heard it said, and I've heard their girls say it too. Like, you made me this way,
Right?
Because
right.
I wasn't this way
It
before.
sounds so cliche,
Yeah.
but,
But
like,
it's very
true.
true.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I can flip it on the reverse because I've been the victim as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that, you can be with someone that causes you to be like that.
Right.
And it's not even necessarily. It doesn't. I know this too. And we haven't touched on it yet. But jealousy doesn't even have to always be about, your partner hooking up or possibly hooking up or checking out someone else that might take your place. It can be a jealousy between friends. Like, I've been in that situation too, where I'm jealous of your friends.
Right.
And I'm like, why am I jealous of your friend? Like, they're your friends. But it's like, I shouldn't feel like I have to compete. And I know that women have often felt like that as well when it comes to the dude hanging out with his homeboys. And you can't separate the fact that it's like, yo, like, you need to hang out with your girl versus always, dedicating your time to your homeboys.
Yeah.
But I felt that too, where for me it was all these things that you're doing, you only do with your friends, but I like to do the same things and you refuse to do them with me. So then I'm jealous.
Okay.
Because it's like,
It makes sense.
Well,
I
that's the
want to go
thing.
out and hit the club.
You have to
You
have
know,
a
I want
balance.
to, I can dance.
Oh, it's an awful
So, like, why are
feeling.
you not going out with me to dance, but you going out with your friends to dance, but you want to go out with me to dance?
Right. And
I'm a
yeah.
bomb ass person to go to the club with.
I believe it.
But you
I
see,
believe
then
it.
when I'm in your situation, when I'm in your shoes in that situation, I'm thinking it's a little weird. Like, why are you always going out and dancing and hitting the club and I can't come? But you always want to go with your friends.
Boom.
Oh gosh, I know that's a bad feeling. This is the
Or
thing.
just
yeah.
it can just be. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
no.
It can even just be something simple, just like, why are you always want to go? Like, I like to drink.
Yeah. Or
you can be a
include
social.
me.
You can be a social drinker. I can be a social drinker. And I like to drink. I know you like to drink socially, but then I never include you on any social gatherings I go to, and vice versa. And that can be an issue as well. It's like, okay, well, like, why can't I hang out?
Well, then it's like, why? But I feel like jealousy, it's like the thinnest line. It's like, to some point, it's like, okay, I like that you're a little bit jealous because I do feel cared about and I want you to pay attention to me. But then when you cross that line where it's like, you're questioning every single thing I do, you're annoying.
Right.
Leave me alone.
Right.
And it's like, you have to find that fine line where it's like, okay, you care enough, but you're not nuts. Like,
Right, where both people feel secure in the
Yeah.
relationship. And that's one of the things that I think that marriage can do, because it's basically like, some woman explained it to me back in the day, and she said it's like having a check and then having it endorsed. It's like, you're kind of legally mine.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to break up, there's going to be paperwork involved.
it's a little bit
you can
harder.
have a bad marriage, but there is a certain thing. If you feel already love and you feel securely loved, there is something that can be really relaxing about marriage in that way. And it just kind of to your point, Olivia, of course we have D Chronicles saying that I feel that the men are more prone to be obsessively jealous in relationships. I would say that is the case.
See, and as a man, I'm gonna have to go ahead and disagree. I feel like it can be 50-50. There can be women that are just crazy jealous, and obviously there's a root to that and there's a reason for it. But I feel like women can be just as obsessively crazy jealous,
They
as
men
much
are
as men,
scary.
though.
That's the thing where I think men can be more scary because they could physically hurt us, even though women could hurt
I
men.
don't
I was
know.
gonna say, I've seen.
I don't know.
I've seen. They make this movie every, like, at least every other year. Like, every 2 years, you get a movie where something happens with the husband, and then either he ends up hooking up with this chick, and then she wants to continue it, and he doesn't, and then she, like, attacks his family. We had the one with Beyonce and.
Oh, yeah, obsessed.
Yeah, we had Obsessed with Beyonce and whoever.
Right.
We had the one that just came out with Katherine Heigl
And every Lifetime movie ever.
Every Lifetime movie. I mean, there was one with
There's one
Marcus Houston and Karuchi.
Karuch.
I always mess her name
Come
up.
on
Karuchi.
now. Wait, is it on Netflix?
Yes.
I gotta catch. I've been hearing about that one. I want to watch it.
Yeah, because it's like her sister or something like that. But we get them, and like guaranteed you're gonna get a movie like that every year.
Right.
And I'm not saying that the movie is fact in life.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that I disagree just because I feel like there are just a large number of women that can be just as obsessively jealous without just cause as there are men. But we probably hear more about it from men because men it tends to turn violent.
Well, because men have like the physical actual power to become violent and be obsessive and intimidating in that way. But women, I feel like because our minds are so complex and one thought leads to another thought leads to another thought, we have the potential to be really crazy. And
Like,
maybe I'm
crazy.
little and not that strong, but if you provoke me enough, I'll find a way to match your strength and probably up it a
Or
little.
just go in the bathroom and just shoot that steroid up and like, "Rawr!"
You know what I mean?
Who is Susie?
I feel like if I'm provoked to a certain level and you really get me going, like, you know, I'll find a way to find
Gonna be
that strength
trouble,
inside of me. And I think
trouble.
that's the same with every woman.
Don't run game on no, fellas.
Do you guys follow the Shade Room?
Yes.
Okay, well, so every morning I watch the Everyday Struggle Complex News with Joe Budden, and they had Amber.
Shout out to Complex.
Shout out to Complex, and they had an episode with Amber Rose. So Joe Budden posted a photo with Amber Rose in the Shade Room. You know, they do the comment creeping, and his girlfriend comments on it and was like, "I'm gonna need you to let me know what hand that was so I can chop it off when you get home." And it's like, it was just like a work photo, whatever.
Right.
But then, you know, she's
But
in the
weren't
comments
they in the
like,
bathroom too, though?
yeah, which was a little sus.
Just a little bit.
But it
and
was
and I
just
knew
so-
I kept thinking like, what's 21 thinking?
Yeah.
Not that I really care, but
Right.
at the same, because I don't understand that whole dynamic between her and 21. But anyways,
I just thought it was hilarious. I
Yeah.
mean, she was probably kidding, but, you know, half kidding.
Right.
Because why are
she's
you
like,
stunting on me on the
just
gram?
kidding, kinda. Bitch, stay away from my man.
That's
Yeah.
why I would never want to date people in the public eye ever. And I think we talked about this. This is like something that I realized about myself. Like I used to veer away from, I remember this guy, I was dating him and he was sus. And you know what's weird is like his mate value, like his nickname was Bowling Ball.
Why?
Because he was shaped like a bowling ball, and he was bald like a bowling ball.
Oh.
And it was
I
one of
remember
those
you
things
telling
that I
me this.
introduced into one of my friends, and they
remember
go,
this
"Are
story.
you like? Do you look in the mirror? Like, what is
what's the
wrong
matter
with
with
you?
you?"
Like, what is?" My friend was like, "What's wrong with you?" Like, she actually was like, and this guy, how he, I think, kept like insecure babes on the line is that he was scandalous, and he was always trying to make you feel he did a very, very good job of making you he would promote jealousy. So I immediately ended it because I was like, this is the most like disgusting feeling. I don't know about you, but I find jealousy to be one of the most reprehensible, disgusting personal feelings.
it is.
It's an absolute loss of control.
100%.
You're trying to control somebody else. That's why, like, honestly, Single for Life, that episode we did,
S4L.
I would be S4L because I'm like, I would never be with a guy again if I was someone or I'd get major therapy because I find jealousy to be probably the most disgusting emotion I've ever felt in my life, hands down.
It's like a huge burden because it
Horrible.
overtakes your thoughts.
Powerless.
To the point where it's like you can't even think about anything. Like, I don't know if you ever felt, I feel like I'm a control freak,
Right.
and when I am jealous and feel like I have no control over the situation, it consumes me to the point where it's like that's all I'm thinking about, and it's like, well, I have all this other stuff that I need to be worried about, and I'm sitting here worried about you. Like, that's a waste of time to me.
Exactly. And on a practical level, it destroys relationships. So
And
on
it
a
destroys your
because
self-esteem.
The person can feel it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I have been with somebody else who was jealous, and I would feel that feeling. Do you know what I mean? You could tell he was, like, trying to behave, but you could still feel that they're, like, jealous, and you're just feeling, like, kind of
Yeah.
trapped. It's a horrible feeling, but it's back to, like, the Buddhist concept of this thing called non-attachment. It doesn't mean you don't care about the person or that you don't love them, but it means we're having a good time right now. We can go to the beach and walk with our hands, holding hands, kiss, and have a nice time. And when it's over, I can still be happy. Like that's the thing. Like there's a big emphasis on that in Buddhism and in meditation is to have non-attachment to everything.
I like
It doesn't mean
that.
Gotta
indifference.
practice
It
that
doesn't mean
one.
indifference. It doesn't mean you don't love the person. It doesn't mean you don't care about them. It just means that
You
if
can be
were-
happy with them, and you can be
Thank
happy
you.
by yourself
Exactly.
as well.
If you can do that,
and
you
that's,
mastered it. You'll
and
never
see,
feel jealousy
and that's
again.
and that's another issue is that I
Yeah.
feel like some people don't understand the distinction between the two. Like they think if you want to go do something that I may be also interested in,
Right.
and you don't want to do it with me, then that means you don't care, or you don't want to spend time with me. And it's like, no, it's I may enjoy traveling with you. But I also enjoy traveling by myself. Not because I'm going to
Right.
travel by myself to go do dirt. It's just because I may enjoy traveling by myself.
That'll drive people
Or-
crazy, though.
It can be just as simple, dial it back, it can be just as simple as going to the movies. I enjoy going to the movies with you. But guess what? I like going to the movies by myself.
That will, yeah. And if you're a jealous
And like some people don't
person-
get it. They don't,
No.
they can't wrap their mind around that. Like, wait, so you like me, you care about me, you want to do stuff with me, but you also want to do stuff by yourself? And it's like, yeah, I was a person before I met you.
Right. So yeah, I'm telling you, non-attachment, and it takes a lot. I mean, I've been working on it just because I meditate, and this is something that we focus on all the time. Non-attachment, not just in the romantic context.
I feel like I need to step
so
my
stuff like-
meditation game up.
know
Yeah,
it.
it's amazing because if you can master this, you will never be held captive emotionally by that feeling again. And it's amazing because it's like it's the ultimate power that your mind can be peaceful. And if you are going out, it's very fascinating. It's just again, and painful emotions like jealousy will have brought me to meditation, just because you have no power over anything that goes on with
Yeah.
other people, but you have power over here. And you
True.
can suffer in here or you cannot suffer. So just a thumbs up for whatever floats your boat spiritually.
Exactly.
Yeah. And speaking of technology report,
All right.
what do you guys think? I mean, do you rather, before we move on though, do you have a strategy that has helped you like eliminate or reduce jealousy?
I feel like it's something that I've definitely struggled with a
Yeah,
lot.
it's hard.
But you just have to find security in yourself, and you have to be confident enough in yourself to not allow other people's actions to affect your emotions. And like you said, you don't have control over another person, but you do have control over your thoughts and your feelings. So if you're gonna go and do all that, okay. If I feel jealous, okay. But if you're putting me in a situation where you make me feel so jealous that it's a burden on me, I can either choose to put up with it and feel a type of way, or choose to not put up with it and either remove myself from it or change my way of thinking,
Yeah.
Agreed. Can I?
Yes.
Okay. So I agree. It's a great point. For me, after having had my heart like ripped out and just, chopped up into little tiny pieces and served on a plate to someone else to eat, for me, I notice now that if there are things that I would even find myself getting even remotely jealous of, and I look at it and like, okay, what am I jealous of? I'm jealous because you're going to go do XYZ with this person, or you're going to do this. Okay, then I in turn, if I want to go do it, then I just do it by myself. And it actually, from me having those situations, is how I became okay with doing things by myself and being more independent, and being non-attached, and just kind of learning how to, okay, well, I'm jealous because you're always going to the movies with your friends. Well, I'm going to start going to the movies, and maybe I don't have any friends to go with, but I'm going to go to the movies.
Yeah.
And I just go by myself. So for me, I kind of look at the same things. I look at, okay, why am I jealous? Is it something I can control and fix myself? Is it something that I can just go and, am I jealous because you're doing this with someone, or am I jealous because you're just doing it and I'm not included? Because sometimes that's a thing too, for me. And then it's like, and then from there I kind of gauge, okay, well, what is it? I'll just go do it by myself. I don't know. It's just, and then when it comes to the whole jealousy, when it comes to other partners or potential partners or stuff like that, I've learned that you can't keep someone that doesn't want to be kept. So I've kind of come to the realization that ultimately, if you're going to give up your cash and prizes to someone else, there's nothing I can do to stop you. Because it is still, until I put the ring on it, it's your cash and prizes. And even after I put the ring on it, technically it's still your cash and prizes. So you can give it to whoever you want to give it to. So I feel like if I feel that you are kind of going down that path, if there's something that we can come together, have a come to Jesus meeting, and we can discuss it and get back on the right track, cool. But ultimately, I'm not going to keep banging my head against the wall to get you to be like, no, please, don't give him the goodies.
Right. Well, that's what I think, is because you can be jealous and say and do whatever, but at the end of the day, a person is a person, and they're going to go off and do that sketchy stuff, whether I have something to say about it or I don't.
Right.
So it's like, why? I'm not really going to sit here and waste the time and energy trying to prevent you from doing something, because
I'm going to be salty, but I'm going to keep it pushing.
Ultimately, like, you're going to do what you want to do. Whether I act jealous about it, I vocally tell you I'm jealous about it, I intentionally do things to let you know I'm jealous about it, like, you're still gonna do it. So why sit here and waste all that headspace, you know?
Yeah, and there's this one story that it was a New York team. It was a baseball team, and I forget the name of the player, but he was like a dude. He was a player. Do you know what I mean? And this chick, he met a girl at a strip club, and they ended up getting married, and she said to him, like, ha ha ha, if you fool around on me, if you like cheat on me, I'm gonna sleep with the entire team. It was the Yankees, I believe. I'm gonna screw every single New York Yankees. And he's cheated on her. She didn't do that, but she ended up like going so crazy and upset that because she really loved the guy, she like got a gun, and she like, you know, basically like she went to jail. She didn't kill him or anything. She just basically took the gun into his like house. They were like separated. And it's just those stories, like the many stories that you could see people that are like perfectly rational be driven to horrible things.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's such a bad feeling of losing such control. And so there's not much you can do, and especially if you're a girl, sometimes it can feel like rejection, like, am I not pretty enough?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
100%.
It's like there's no one pretty enough for a cheater guy. Like if he's a cheater, it's just like,
and that's just something
you can be the most
you have to
beautiful woman.
realize.
Yeah.
But when you're in the midst of it all, it's hard to see outside of it.
It is. One of my friends used to make a joke, because this is kind of an old school joke, but Christy Brinkley was married back in the day to Billy Joel, and I remember someone cheated on me, and I was like, but I don't get it. Why did he cheat? I kept saying like a ding dong, he cheated on me. And she goes, Billy Joel was cheating on Christy Brinkley. Do you think she went, I'm Christy Brinkley.
Right.
You can't cheat on me.
Well,
like,
that's equivalent to Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Right.
I remember saying like, oh, if Beyonce can get cheated on, anybody can get cheated
it's
on.
all like open, you know, you can't be beautiful enough for like a cheater.
Cheaty McChee-Chee.
Yeah.
Cheaty McChee-Chee.
Yeah.
And with that, let's jump into new tech. There is a dating app that's going to help you find your favorite faces, because there is a science behind the faces that we are attracted to.
Right.
So this new app is called dating.ai.
Yeah.
It scours Tinder, Bumble, Plenty of Fish, and other dating apps, and uses its own facial recognition software to find matches based on the user's physical preferences. Users upload a pic of their type, and then it finds about 15,000. Oh wait, and then okay, all right. So basically, you upload the pic of your type, and then it's gonna just scour all these things and give you all the results, and it's like bam. Next thing you know, you're signing up for like 5 different social dating apps. But it's going to help you figure out your type.
Yeah.
Because there is a type.
There is a
Can I
type.
just say something before we even get into
Yeah.
this? This is a great idea in theory.
Yeah.
In theory.
But, it really leaves a lot of people out of the equation, because no one is going to upload a photo of an overweight person or someone that has, like, unattractive features. And they might be great people like on the inside, but because they don't match your physical,
right? Because some people have really unrealistic high expectations that they're going to miss out, and that is a very good point. Real quick, there's about 15,000 users on this new app as
Yeah.
of mid-June.
Oh my God.
And the women are looking for Justin Bieber types, Ashton Kutcher, Cristiano Ronaldo, Chris Hemsworth. The women are looking for, and then men are looking for like Shakira, Kim Kardashian, Emma Watson, Miley Cyrus, Jennifer Lawrence, Selena Gomez, and Taylor Swift. Many users are also searching for people who look like themselves, but of the opposite gender. Now,
Yes.
I was going to say that you have a valid point, but I feel like there are some people, because you can do this from the privacy of your own home, you can low key, if you like them curvy, you can find a pic of a curvy chick and upload it, and nobody has to know that that's your type except for you and the app that it's searching for your type for. So that's not necessarily true, because if you have a quirky taste in, what you're attracted to, in theory, you could upload that pic and search for those
I guess.
types. But you're right. Everybody has these high expectations. Dudes want all these chicks to look like models and video
Yeah.
vixens. Chicks want these dudes to be all ripped up.
And
And
it's
he
not-
might not be ripped up.
Right.
He might have a little extra pudge on him, but he's the dude for you, and you might be missing out.
Like, what if his photos aren't that great, but he has a fire bio? And like,
Bam. Fire bio.
you can't even, they're completely left out of the equation.
That's
Yeah.
another throwback episode you need to check out with the DMC, is how to make your online profile.
Right. And also the people looking for people who look like themselves but of opposite gender, that's pretty interesting, right? So
That's
you put
weird.
a picture up of yourself and you want like the dude version. Because
That might be
right.
low-key disappointing.
Yeah, familiarity, there's like a certain principle to that. Familiarity is likeness. We're attracted to that which is familiar to
Well,
us.
you know, I
Like, that's why
remember-
family is like, you're just like, you look in someone's eyes, it's like your cousin. You're like,
Yeah.
hi.
Yeah.
I remember reading a long time ago, and my coworkers always clown me about it because I am king of clicking on clickbait. So, like, the first thing that pops up when I open up my browser is MSN.com. They have tons of clickbait. And I remember reading one of these clickbait things where it was saying that the longer couples are together, the more they start to take on each other's features to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And I actually believe this to be true because I've seen couples that have been together for a while, and I'm like, y'all do kind of favor each other. And then you look at their kids, and obviously their kids look like a combination of them, but then you look at them, and you're like, I can kind of see a little mama in there.
Because
So I could see that whole wanting that familiarity, wanting to find someone. Although I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't want to find anybody with the size nose that I have. So I mean, I like my nose on me. I
Right.
don't necessarily think I'm gonna like it on you.
Yeah, and the people looking for people like themselves might be just having fun. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because I might
True.
do that just for the heck of it, upload a picture and
Yeah.
then just see what type of dudes they match me up with.
But and it also leaves a even larger window for catfishing than normal.
That's true. That's
Because
true.
obviously you're gonna, if someone's looking for a type of person and you're not that type of person,
But
just
you
like
want to get that attention.
yeah, just like every single person on Catfish.
right.
You download
might-
pictures of Corey and put them on your profile.
Exactly. You'll upload that picture that girl with the butt like Kim Kardashian because that's what dudes are all looking for now. You know what
I
I'm
don't know
saying?
why, because her butt looks atrocious.
Oh God, I know. I still have pictures of the lollipop situation. You know, the unairbrushed pictures of her in Mexico. You know what I'm talking about, with the skinny legs and the big protuberances.
But that's just because she kind of low key, and I'm not trying to body shame at all.
Yeah.
It's just because I feel like she got lazy. Because ultimately, you know that when you get that kind of procedure done, you need to balance it out. And so, unless you surgically have your thighs balanced out to match your butt, you need to be hitting the gym. And she just probably, she's got kids now, and she's been busy and got all this other stuff. So she probably just got a little complacent, didn't hit the gym. So we got to see the non-gym and, Kim.
It's weird though. I always wonder if it works, like, because if you have.
But
certain
I also have
procedures-
pictures. I don't have them like I own them.
Yeah.
But I've seen pictures where Kim ain't even have no junk in the trunk.
Right,
Oh,
back in the
really?
day.
Back in the day, like red
Yeah.
carpet Kim rocking Boingo jeans, if you even remember Boingo jeans, with Nas tall, no
Right.
ass at all.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
And
It's
now
weird.
she got all this extra butt.
Plastic
stop it.
surgery is risky business because I had a friend who had a little work done under her butt,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it was there's just something so subtle about the body and the face. You know what I mean? When you mess with it, it's like there's all these moving parts around it. You can't just go in and move one little part. And it just changes things subtly where it looks just weird in the flesh. You know what I mean?
Well, not only that, but I also heard, like, when you
She
get
didn't like it, by the way. I'm not
when you get lipo, for example, then when you start to put weight on again, it doesn't deposit naturally. It deposits
Ew.
That's
funky
that's what I'm
in
saying.
your body.
That's
It's not
happened.
saying that you're gonna have a big glob of like a cheeseburger you ate one day stuck to your neck, but it just doesn't situate properly. Because I always joke like, oh, I'm just gonna go get lipo. But one of the first places you lose weight when you lose it the right way is in your face.
Right.
So you ever see people and you're like, they got a super chubby face, but then everything else is all slim, kind of like on Star from The View. Lost all that weight, but their head was still big.
Oh yeah, isn't that
Sarah
weird?
Jones.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, but the liposuction, because that's
Right.
what my friend struggled
Same
with,
thing.
because she got that and then it comes back. There's like a lump situation that happens. That's
Never
what I'm
getting
saying.
lipo.
Like I always say, I'm too vain for plastic surgery. I'm like, I'm not gonna mess.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because if you think you're gonna get one thing, it's gonna
Well, just
put
from
everything else into whack.
See,
you
now
know?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm vain enough to consider doing it, but I know I have terrible luck. So I would be that guy that would get something done. It would be done wrong, and I'd have to get like 10 more surgeries to fix
Right.
that.
But then it's never
not
back
even worth
to
it.
the way
It's
it
Exactly.
was.
never, and there's
So.
something that, again, the subtlety of the human face. Like, it's like, I remember when I was in Florida, there was this case because there's some shady plastic surgeons in Miami. A guy went to get pec implants and they gave him chick implants. They gave him jugs. They took the
that's
wrong models out. Do you know what I mean?
Terrible.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So he woke up with like jugs instead of pecs. I know, it's awful, isn't it?
That's like
That's why I'm like,
a
just that stuff
nightmare.
scares me. And especially you see people that are like celebrities that they pay a lot of money and they go to famous plastic surgeons. I'm like, sorry, you paid what to do what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, if you guys ever watch Botched on E! Entertainment, oh goodness gracious.
Yeah.
That's
Bad.
all these people with these vanity procedures.
yeah.
Most of them are always vanity. These
Yeah.
vanity procedures that go wrong, and then they're there because they're trying to get it fixed.
You know what though? Like these type of apps are the reason why where our society
You're right.
going scares me, because
You're right.
these type of apps where you literally are tailoring what you want your significant other to look like causes these insecure people to go and get these wild, crazy surgeries to fit some type of profile that they think is popping. Like,
This is true.
you know, right now, big lips and big butts and whatever are in, and you see, I mean, out in the rest of America, probably not as much as LA.
Yeah.
You see all these girls with fat ass lips and big fat butts, and it's like, yeah, that looks like cool and great now, even though it really kind of doesn't on you, but like, it's a trend, and
Right.
in a couple months, a couple years, whatever, that's not going to look good anymore. But
No.
now you're stuck with this like
Right.
nastiness that you got going on because you think that that's what people are attracted to now.
Right.
And
that
now
was-
that's not even hot, and you still walking around with these big ass lips.
Yeah.
And this crazy huge butt
And
that's
it's like-
uncomfortable.
It's not.
Can't fit any jeans.
Yeah, and it is. It's like this idea of pressure, you know what I mean? Of
Right.
wanting to feel a certain way. And men traditionally select on looks more than women do. Women, we like good looking guys too, which we'll bring into our next segment here. But we select on looks, but we select on other variables. Like kindness is a big one on women. Do you know what I mean? But men select so much on looks that I could see for girls being more the victims of this,
Right.
being more prone to be like, especially just if you're like
Right,
a
you don't
younger
really-
person, you know.
Right.
it's
You don't
like-
hear of a guy like, oh, I got to get these pec implants because I've been hitting the gym, it's not working out, and I want a chick
Yeah,
to
I
like me.
know.
Right.
Right.
But men are good look hot guys.
And guys don't really get body shamed either, I don't think.
not
not as
really.
much.
Not, at least not on social media,
But it's
anyways.
fun.
I actually read that girls kind of like dad bods are a little bit in because
You know, I've
Not
been hearing that
complete-
too.
Have
And but
Yeah.
I can't roll with it. I'm
Well, because
uncomfortable.
if you have this like pretty chiseled guy, it has a way of making a woman feel insecure because it's a lot harder for us to like
keep up with that.
Yeah, but guys, you know, they can hit the gym for a couple weeks and just be like good to go, and it's kind of
Bam.
annoying. But I don't these. Of course, everyone uses these dating sites.
Are you on the dad bod train or?
Well, I mean, the last guy I was with, like, his body wasn't that fabulous, and I never thought I would be into something like that, but I was, like, I don't know. But these apps, it just bugs me out. I mean, of course I use them, everyone uses them, but if you really think about it, you're sitting there just swiping based on a photo. Even though girls are attracted to kindness, you can't see kindness through the Tinder filter.
Right.
This is true.
So there's almost something, because I've been just observing it and low-key studying it a little bit. I think that since we did used to select more on other variables, no, we always selected looks, but other variables, and it depends on the person, what they're looking for. But these are just broadly. I think women are selecting more on looks lately.
Well, but
I think it's changing because men in the past had an advantage, because if you had like a bomb personality and you were really a good guy, you could be like a solid 6 in the looks department. You were still you had a high mate value because those are attributes that women like. Now I think guys have to bring it almost as hard as women.
Well, because this is how people are meeting other people. And you're completely filtering out personalities and other variables, especially if you're tailoring your picks, like your pick of the men see that, like, you're tailoring it to a specific look.
Right.
And more often than not, guys that look that way have zero personality. I'm sorry to say, but like, most of them don't have it all. And if they have it all, they're not on that site.
It's really, it's very interesting.
They're probably already wifed up or caked up.
Yeah, or I know, it's funny because really good looking guys you see often have, for instance, there's this Spanish musician that follows me on Instagram. I follow him, and I just thought, oh my God, if I was his girlfriend or wife, just because he's a good looking guy, he doesn't do like thirsty pictures, you know what I mean? He's just like a very good looking guy, and he'll be in these different places going to concerts. He's like a classical musician, so he's not even like, you know what I mean, like a guy with his shirt off or anything. And he has a very big following, and all of it is like women and like guapo, like it's in Spanish mostly, but just tons of women. I'd be like, that would just be freaking annoying, dude. I wouldn't even, let's just say I was single, he was single, and like, hey, you're going to be in Madrid or whatever. I'd be like, nah. I'm like, yeah, like all this chick stuff, you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that bother you if you were going out with like a bikini model or something, and it was just like, those are so fine, I'd like to do this, and you just like, I mean, wouldn't that be very annoying? I'd like to do this and that and sideways and upside down and all day Sunday.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but I just watched somebody's sketch where they had something where the guy was he was approaching a girl, and then he would as he's talking to her and she's talking, he would look at her social media profile, and she'd have like thousands upon thousands of followers, and he'd be like, okay, yeah, no, never mind.
Yeah.
And he would just keep it moving. And
Wait, have you ever, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there's a song, but I think it's by Dram, and he was like, you know, it essentially said she doesn't have that many followers, so I can slide in. Because it's like, oh, she doesn't, she can pay attention to me because a curly-headed cutie with the, oh my God, I wish I could remember the words, but it basically says like, oh, I can get her because she doesn't get that many likes.
Right. I'd be looking for that. Like the cute guy.
Low key though, you think about it. Think about how if you're talking to someone, or you're even interested in somebody, and they've got thousands of followers, and they've got hundreds of comments on every damn photo. It's like, at that point, you know their DMs are popping. What do you even say? Like, you could be, like you said, the nicest dude, but the chances are you're gonna completely overlook that message from me. Like, hey, what's up? How's your day going? It's Monday. You ready to get at it? Yeah. And that could just be a simple message that, had you not had 200 unread DMs, you might see that and be like, okay, this guy's actually having a conversation that doesn't start with, oh, hey, beautiful, or something like that. But you miss it.
Yeah.
So whereas you have a chick that's only got maybe a couple hundred followers, your odds are definitely higher.
Oh, 100%.
Right. That's why I think it's so, to people out there with big followers, you know, you could be like turning off
people that
good
buy followers, because come on, I look at some people's timelines and I'm like, you ain't even that funny.
But
not
when you
even
buy,
funny.
you could tell when people buy followers though, and those are the people you could still slide in because no one's in their DMs. Half those people are fake, and their likes don't correlate with their followers, and like
Right.
it's this whole
You got
entire
20
formula.
likes. You got 20 likes. You got 40 people showing up on your live video stream, but you got like 2 million
30,000,
followers.
yeah,
like something stupid.
30,000. I'm like,
Like,
no,
cut it
you're
out.
not real.
Yeah.
Feel free to
Probably.
slide in on those people because they want the attention.
Right.
But
They respond all quick. Hey, how's it going? Like, whoa, that was just 10 seconds. I just sent that.
Yeah. It's funny though, like especially when people don't put any like boyfriend or girlfriend in their pictures, and then they find out like, hey, I just got married, you know, and they like, let's just say
Right.
it's a girl or something who posts a lot of thirsty pictures and has a big following.
I've seen that too, though.
well,
where
you can't because
she-
it ruins their image.
Right, because they think
Just a lot of rappers and
It
stuff
ruins
do
their
that.
brand. I'm so
Yeah.
tired of
Yes,
hearing that. I used to like that term, like, oh,
No,
develop your
brand
brand,
is
build your
overused
brand.
now
It-
because
it is.
everyone
Everybody's
with the
got a
freaking
brand.
phone's got a brand, and it's so
Yeah.
annoying. But you know that is a lot of things are like that. Like even rappers, like we didn't know J. Cole was married for the longest time.
Yo, did not know that. That was like a new fun fact.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, who wants to pay attention to this? Like for girl fans, if they know that you're wifed up, it's like, oh, why even waste my time? Like
right,
stressing over
okay.
this dude
Exactly.
because he's got a wife and kids. Like that's so irrelevant to my life, you know?
yeah. So.
And it kills the fantasy, or as you like to say, the
Exact-
fantasia.
Yeah, the fantasia.
Yeah.
Like, because we start to feel like some kind of ownership, over people. Like, this is kind of my person. I have a relationship with this
It's
person.
low key true because there's a lot
Yeah.
of female celebrities that I'll be like, that's my bae,
Right.
that's my boo, and then once I find out like she's caked up, I'm like,
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
whatever.
really?
You stop paying
Unfollow.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can always tell, like, even those big Instagram girls, whatever, they'll always get a lot of likes and stuff on photos of themselves. But you can see, like, when a man's in their photo,
Right.
no, those likes are so much less than
It's
the
like they're
photo of
girls,
just
cute
them.
pic girl.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny. I wonder because the brand thing is so diluted and so overdone. So the next thing will be like probably something that is the opposite. So when having a non-brand. So just being all over the place. Because
Right.
part of branding is like having a cohesive message, right?
Right, and it's
So-
funny because I just read something where it was talking about how to succeed at Instagram, and it was like having a cohesive message.
Oh, it's
and
just
it
so
was like,
exhausting.
It was like plan out your post,
Right.
and I'm like, no, because sometimes I like to be spontaneous, and I just like to post something if I'm thinking about it and I think it might be funny.
Me
It's like, I don't want to have to
too.
think about it and think, okay, well, maybe I should go and edit this because I shouldn't put this way because I just had a post yesterday that was talking about social injustice, and now I'm talking about this random meme that's it's a lot.
Yeah.
And then I remember it was before brand was the word. It was I'm building my empire.
Oh, God.
Oh, cut it
The worst
out,
is
y'all.
rise
Just
and
stop it.
grind.
Building my empire.
Yeah. Speaking of, with you though, I think one of your posts that I remember is when you were at USC at someone's graduation. So this is just randomly, this is what I remember this post because I think that you are doing. I know that I think it's like from a modesty thing that you do not put pictures of yourself up, and I think that's a
really
mistake because why not? I mean, I'm just saying because I think maybe it's a modesty thing, but even and I'm just a colleague of yours, I remember that picture and what you wrote underneath about like how it was like a family weekend. And so it's like a really nice way to identify with you, to build relationships or like what they call them, these meta relationships. So I would, if I were you, just unsolicited advice from a random person.
Put up more fan pics.
Yeah, they don't have to be like,
Yeah, because I was proud.
just
That
look
was-
at you. Like if you make funny expressions, you're a good-looking guy. Why not?
thank
You know what I
you.
mean? And no one's thinking you're doing it because you're like think you're
Right.
Like,
Well,
See,
there's
that's
a
kind of
way
how
to
I
go
feel
about
like
it.
I know you think
right,
that. I know
exactly.
you- it's
So
like
that's why I
some
don't really do
modesty.
selfies. Shout out to my boy Anthony.
You
It was his
should,
graduation.
though. You should do like muscles and stuff. No one
Well,
would think it was
that requires
thirsty.
Kelly to go to the gym
Okay.
consistently.
Yeah, right. Haters will say it's Photoshop. Over your head.
Yeah, well, there's definitely a way to go about it. You could post photos of yourself, but in a manner
It's-
that's not thirsty.
Right. I
Right.
never used to put pictures of myself up. My friends finally said, okay. You know what I mean? Like and then you suddenly put pictures of yourself, and people are much more interested in it.
Yeah, then you get the followers.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's like I always say I like Monica Bellucci, that Italian actress. I follow Monica Bellucci. I don't want to see no cat. I want to see Monica Bellucci's fine face and her freaking Kraken Sophia Loren
Okay, I get it.
And
Yeah.
I'm a straight woman. It's like I want to see damn
That's what you
pictures
follow
of,
her for.
Exactly, and that's
Yep.
what this friend of mine said. She goes, people want to see like your face, or they want to see you doing something. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
All right. Noted.
Just from a women's perspective.
Yeah, from a woman's perspective.
Check and
yeah.
check.
Yeah, exactly. You're a good-looking guy. Why
Well,
not?
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, but even like again, the picture at the USC wasn't like this drool picture you had clothes on and stuff.
Right.
It was just like a nice picture that had
Right.
like your smile and a sense of your life. So, but speaking of naked guys, trend report right up here, Girls Trip, and we want to put that poster up there that we have from Girls Trip.
I am sad that I did not get to see this movie
Successful
this
show,
I know.
30 million box office.
weekend.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
A good comedy. I mean, for a comedy too, it's the highest opener since 2015. 10
With
too.
all black lead females.
Exactly.
Black girl magic.
Exactly. So it's interesting because when I saw this billboard for Girls Trip, which is right along Cahuenga, well, not far from where we are, I just went through it really quickly, and I didn't at first. I thought that they I realized that it's men's. So men's legs up there. And I said,
Right.
well, hello, isn't this an interesting turn of events? And speaking of, there's recent media like Insecure and Girls Trip that is showcasing more male nudity. And of course, Issa Rae, who does HBO Insecure and is a growing force, says that, quote, I'm just being a red-blooded woman, and I know what I want to see in watching a TV show. It's D and ass.
Penis.
Yes, I'll say it, yes. I always notice, why is this woman completely naked and he still has his pants on or his shirt on? And I second that because I was always
It's
like
true.
that. Whenever I watch TV with my husband, I'd be like, why is every woman naked and the dudes are wearing like 5 turtlenecks? And I make a joke with him. I'm like, I'm going to produce a movie and every chick is going to be wearing like a huge big turtleneck like outfit and every dude is going to be naked or in a G-string and he's going to be perfect and he's going to have a 12-pack. I go, I
Yeah.
have to like even the scales. So I'm really glad that there is ladies like Miss Issa Rae doing that for us because it's true. Women, even we want to see good-looking guys too.
Right, and it's so rare to
Right.
see a naked guy on TV.
Or
so
a
it's
hot
like
guy.
when you see it, you're kind of like, do you guys watch Power?
No, I don't.
50 Cent went with the full frontal.
I heard
You're
about
like,
that.
See?
I never seen anything like that before on television.
bet
So
you
it's
didn't.
like,
Wow.
I mean, for more reasons than
Right?
than that, but like I'm just saying, you never see that on
Well,
TV
and
ever.
if you think about it,
Naked
You see
girls all
boobs
day.
all the
Like,
time.
I'm
And if you
seeing
think
naked
about it-
people, all girls.
Think
Yeah.
about this. Think of how many times we've seen on like the morning news shows and stuff like that, or the entertainment shows where they make a big deal, like, oh, and Michael Fassbender went full frontal for
Yes.
this.
Right.
It's a big deal because
Full
it's so
frontal
uncommon.
is like a coined phrase.
Yeah.
It is. Literally because it is so uncommon that they do
Yeah.
that for men.
Yeah,
I know.
And it's funny because there's often like back in the day there was this movie Basic Instinct,
Mm-hmm.
right, with Sharon Stone and Michael Douglas. And I remember there was a big hoopla because Michael Douglas you saw his ass, and I remember my friends and I were cracking up. I'm like, that's what we get. There's Sharon Stone like spreading her legs and naked through the whole movie, and we get to see that flabby ass. He was like, I'm sorry, he was a more mature man at that point,
Yeah.
and so it was not. Like, I'm just saying, it's like guys get perk 10s and we get like thrown stale crumbs out the back door. I'm like, that's what we get. We
Thanks
get
a
that. We get like a 50-something-year-old guy with like
know.
kind of a older man
Butt crack.
ass. Yeah, exactly. And like hair and stuff. I'm like, oh, ooh, thank you so much. We have another. What do you think about this as a guy, this trend?
Yeah, it's unfair. I mean, as a guy, for me, I'm always on the receiving end because I'm like, yes. But no, I mean, I definitely agree that the table should be more balanced. Granted, I don't necessarily want to see that, but I don't have to look when it comes on screen, just like you don't have to look when they show a chick. But no, there are a lot of different little things like that I have noticed where I'm like, she's butt ass naked and this dude is undressed, or this dude is, still got clothes on. And I'm thinking like that wouldn't happen in real life.
Right.
I'd be pretty much naked too. So yeah, I mean, balance the scales a little bit.
Yeah, very good.
But I want to see this movie.
I do
I
too.
do.
And I know that it's going to be super heavy woman-esque. But yeah, I definitely want to see this
Charlemagne
movie.
said it has the same effect on women as lemonade does. So if you're in some deep water with your chick and you go to see it together, don't go see it together.
Really?
Thank you, bro.
Does it hate on the dudes a little?
No,
No, I just think it probably brings out some
Right.
like feminism,
Oh, I bet it
man-hater
does.
qualities.
Okay.
Well, because there's
know how
one
Lemonade
that's
does.
like a
Yeah.
scorned lover, you know, because her
okay.
man cheats on her and she finds out,
Oh.
which gives her even more motivation or incentive on that girl's trip to go and just wild out, girl, give
Yeah.
up the cooch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Queen Latifah has had such an amazing career. She's been around for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good for her.
Okay, so we've got the entertainment 411, as I like to say, which is the 411. We've got Usher and his gifts to keep on giving. We got R. Kelly. Is it real love? Is it weird?
No, he's weird.
And then we've got Tyga and Kylie and her glow up. But first, I'm gonna throw it to you. Let's talk about Ush real quick and these
okay, so
gifts to keep on giving.
you know what? Put yourself in his wife's position. Your significant other is not only cheating on you, but he's tossing out an STD to every single person that he's with. So one, I mean, if you didn't already know you had herpes, now you know you probably have it, and so does the rest of the country. And you're also being humiliated because he's cheating on you, and
it's
he's
evident because
yeah.
everyone knows that he's married. He's
Right.
on his second marriage. So the fact that he's on his second marriage and all these revelations are coming out. Okay, so real quick, so this was recent.
Yeah.
It
It's
was.
still,
Not the
there's
STD thing, just
lawsuits.
the women coming up like, yeah, he gave me the bumps too.
Well, it's like a domino effect because this one woman came out, and then this other woman who slept with him came
the
out.
report had leaked, which she was like a former bridesmaid of his first wife's.
Tamika Foster.
Right.
Okay.
She was a bridesmaid to her.
And then this other woman came out and sued him for $10 million, being like, "Well, you exposed me and didn't even tell me." But she knew this because of the first lawsuit,
Right.
and then she went and got tested because she heard about that, and come to find out she did have it. She wouldn't have known if it wasn't for this other woman. So she came back asking for $20 million instead of $10
Think
million.
about how many people she's probably slept with.
Yes.
Since
and then
that
it's just like,
time.
damn, it goes like it's a spider
It
web.
is.
Like
It's an octopus.
ATL is hot.
Yeah, STDs are scary, Larry, and herpes is that's a life
that
sentence.
shit's for life.
It's faux life.
Yeah.
It's H-faux-L.
Bum bum bum.
Yeah. So here's the sitch. So it had to have been a bareback sitch.
Oh, well, not necessarily, but
Right.
at least I know with the first case, like didn't he produce fake documents to show her, like, nah, we good, girl, so
Well,
that he could keep.
I mean, he told her that he got, because she noticed a little, like, funky something. So he got tested, and he was like, oh, everything was fine. But then, then she kept sleeping with him. And
Well,
then he
dog.
called her with his doctor and broke the news to her, because it's actually illegal in most states to knowingly and willingly subject someone to an STD.
Is that correct? It's not
Yeah.
just HIV then. It's also
No,
STDs.
it's if you know you have something and deliberately passing it along.
And not telling that person.
It's like it has to be a full disclosure type of deal.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, you know what? That stuff's scary. STDs are they're pretty rampant. I was reading about how there's like a super form of an STD that's kind of not
Treatable.
yeah, exactly, not treatable. So that is
Wow.
scary, and especially you can have it wrapped up and still get something. Because I remember a friend of mine actually got genital warts. They used a condom.
Oh my god.
Because it was on the I'm just saying this for educational purposes. This is like
It makes me never want to do
it's
anything
because
ever again.
it was on the base of his penis. I'm just being explicit for that.
Right.
It was, and I remember she was like, "What's that?" And he was like, "Nothing." And like they
And she still did it?
It was because it's also she didn't know, and it was in college, and she had to like tell her dad because she had to have treatments, and she had to have it like burned off. I'm saying this because like you cannot be too careful. It like was not a
Always
good
check
year.
that out
Yeah, it was
before
not a
you-
good year in college for her. Do you know what I mean? Because that one night with this ding dong who decided to like.
It's just it really because when you know that you have that and you know how awful it
Yeah.
is, and for you to willingly pass that off and ruin someone else's life like that,
Yeah.
you're a POS.
Yeah, and it should be criminalized because it is like it's a violation.
And you know
of your
something?
rights.
He went on he just did a carpool karaoke, like with these, like the fact that he's showing face right now, I kind of admire him for it, but at the same time, I'm like, wow, you're really arrogant.
Bold, like yeah, you're bold.
You're an ass. You're not even coming out and saying like sorry, or maybe even own it and be like the spokesperson of herpes. Like, yeah, I have
Like
it,
Valtrex.
and like you need to be more careful or you end up like me, like some Magic Johnson, you know. But
PSA
This
or
is
something.
going to ruin him though financially. If there's a precedent, if there's one payout and there's more people, there's going to be other payouts.
this girl's asking for $20 million.
I don't think she's gonna get that though.
Oh, but she's gonna get something.
Oh yeah, she's gonna
because
get
her
some
entire
change.
life is ruined.
Yeah, herpes.
There's treatment, and she can. Yeah,
You
Her
basically
entire
it's
life
bad,
is ruined.
But yeah, I mean, that's definitely a stigma because she has to tell every dude like, I got the herpes.
You only date herpes
So-
people. You know, you can only date. It's a pretty bad thing.
Maybe there's an app
Herpes
for that.
exclusive.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe there is. That's terrible. Okay, R. Kelly, let's talk about it. Is the sex cult? He got women under his control.
He is a problem.
Yeah.
Let's
He's
just
a
go ahead and
problem,
say he is
but
a
at the same
problem.
time, I've heard a lot of people argue that because these women are of age, that they're kind of there
He's
of
a
their own will.
50-year-old man.
And they're still, even though they're of age, they're still very young
They're
and
still-
impressionable.
exactly.
And one of them who was avoided him was talked. He's like a textbook the way he manipulates these young ladies, and he uses the gets them in by saying, I think you'd be great singer. You'd be a great
Yeah.
singer. And the girl would say, no, let's talk about my singing. And he'd
Right,
talk about
you
sex.
heard that audio. Yeah,
he would bring it back to sex. And they're girls that are like, he goes after like usually girls that are like somewhat vulnerable. So, I mean, the case I remember years ago, but I remember some of the evidence that was not allowed into evidence was that there were tape upon tape of him straight up raping
Yeah.
14-year-old girls. So I think he's a problem that needs to go away yesterday.
So basically, the consensus is weird problem. R. Kelly needs to cut it out.
Yes.
Tyga and Kylie and her glow up.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of touched on the all the plastic surgery thing earlier, but it's just like
She's a
how
prime example.
it's-
Miss, I'm still changing because I'm growing.
right,
Cut it
but
out.
no, he actually went on the Breakfast Club and talked about it, being like, okay, you enter this relationship with this person. I enter a relationship with you, and you look like this. But over the course of the years that we're together, all of a sudden you got like all this other stuff going on. You're completely glowed up. And I mean, she glowed up and left him for somebody else, a more high profile,
Right.
richer like rapper. But it's like, how does that make you feel as the significant other, that you're just in this
makes-
relationship
right.
with a person who now looks like a completely different person, probably acts like a different person because of the way that they look.
Right. Well, I mean, there's been cases of that too, where there are people that are somewhat larger. They go through the weight loss surgery, they lose the weight, and then they start getting all this attention.
Yeah.
And then they just up and leave that person that was riding with them when they was chunky and, eating, potato chips and cupcakes in bed.
Oh, right.
So-
kind of like the money thing.
Yeah.
Pretty
Like when
much,
people
pretty
become
much.
famous.
Yeah, she definitely had a major glow up. I'm not gonna hate. I mean, she
Right.
does look
It is
good,
what it
but I know
is.
that she's super, super plastic. So.
And just from his perspective too, it's just kind of like
That's
crazy.
interesting.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely different because that's no different than being with somebody that's dad bod and they get all super ripped up.
Yeah.
And then they
You're
just go ahead and they up and leave
What
you.
do I do?
Oh, that'd be terrible. And with her, I always wonder.
Because I also feel like it makes you feel inadequate at that point. Because it's
Yeah.
like, okay, they left me because I
Because
wasn't good enough
they
anymore.
glowed up
because,
and they don't
yeah.
need me anymore.
That's a terrible feeling. I always wonder what she would really have looked like without all the without the
well, one
plastic
day when she
surgery.
has a kid and it comes out not looking like the way she looks now.
Right.
Then that's how she looks.
Yeah, that's
or you
it.
can just go back and look at their older pictures.
Right, because
Okay.
you changed so much during that time. That
Right.
imagine if she didn't get all the plastic surgery, she might have been so happy with how naturally she bloomed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? As a teenager.
Yeah, but then she's got all her sisters, and they all look a
right.
certain way, and they're
Yeah.
So, anyways, okay, so we have to wrap it up. That has been our show, but first, before we go, speed round, real quick. Best love advice you've ever received.
Have a man love you more than you love him.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
you have to love yourself before you can ever accept love from somebody else.
Okay. For me, I don't want you because I need you. I need you. Wait, I don't need you because I don't want you because I need you. I need you because I want you. And there's a big difference.
That's one. That's
Oh, that's a
freedom.
tongue twister. Booyah. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, is with much sadness that I have to say that we are going on a hiatus. So we will not be back for a while. So you can still follow us. You already know KaaosJ, KaaosJ on Twitter, Chaos_Oceans31, because I'm giving you 31 flavors of waviness, even if I'm not on the DMC. And that's all I have to say. You guys have been great. We appreciate everybody who's been supporting us here on the DMC. And like I said, we will be back, just not right now.
Yeah.
In some form, shape, or fashion. And I'm going to throw it off to you.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you can check out other episodes that we have stockpiled. We have quite a few. So, of course, always feel free to connect with us as you guys have. You can always find me, Constance Dunn, at Instagram or Twitter.
And
Our fourth panelist,
yeah,
our
right,
fourth host.
the new addition. Thank you guys so much for having me, especially on your last episode. Again, I'm Olivia Gaboret. You can follow me at @thereal_O_G.
Shout out to Jimmy V, who couldn't be with us. You already know. Be your own dad. Be your own dad.blogspot.com. Make sure you check him out as well. It's the DMC. It's KaaosJ, the Queen, the real OG. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we are out.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram @KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.